Hi guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So it is that time of year again. It is time for the New Year predictions. So in today's Pick a Card reading, we are going to be looking at your 2025 and we are going to be focusing on the biggest shifts that are going to be coming your way in this new year. The main energies, the main events, the main themes for you. There are 4 groups to choose from today, and I have placed different ornaments on top of each. If you feel called to more than one today, that is totally fine. There may be messages for you in more than one group, but I'm gonna show you each of these up close one by one, and please pick whichever one or ones you feel called to the most. For my group number 1s, we have this blue round ornament. For my group number 2s, we have this red heart-shaped ornament. For my group number 3s, we have this silver star-shaped ornament. And for my group number 4s, we have this green bell-shaped ornament. Okay, so as always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number 1s, so if you guys chose this blue round ornament, this is going to be your reading. I just want to say thank you so much for being here and thank you so much for choosing my reading out of the many 2025 readings that I'm sure are up right now. It really means a lot that you clicked on here and that we can spend this time together. So let's get into it. This is going to be our reading today. We are going to see the major events and the major shifts coming your way in 2025. We're going to look at both shifts that are happening for you internally as well as externally in your life and what these changes and shifts are ultimately going to lead to for you. We are going to see what your biggest blessing will be in 2025 and how you can make the most of this blessing, as well as what your biggest challenge will be in 2025 and how you can overcome it. And then at the end of the reading, we're going to get a message from future you. So this will be you in the future who has been through the year 2025. So you're at the end of it and now you're giving a message for the current you who is about to go into 2025. And then we also have an extended today where we're going to see the most significant people or the most significant connections for you in 2025. And this could be new people coming in, it could be existing connections that you have, but we're gonna see who these people are and why they are gonna be so important in 2025, what's gonna be happening between you and them. And we're also going to see, will it happen in 2025? So it can be anything, this is up to you. Any event that you're wondering whether or not it's going to happen in 2025. And we're going to see a yes, no, or maybe answer, including the reason why. And we're also going to see when. Regardless of this answer here, we're going to look at the specific timing of when it will happen. So depending on the answer we get, that could be a time in 2025 or a time a little bit after. But yeah, that is the reading that we have today. So let's get into it. We're going to start with the tarot. And I'm going to take reversals today. The reversals will represent things that are happening for you internally. And the upright will represent things happening externally. What are the main shifts and the main events happening in 2025 for my group number 1s? I'm hearing wait and see. And with this message, is something about like very soon after watching this reading, it could be within days of watching this reading or even within hours for some of you, you're going to receive some very enlightening information that gives you a much clearer idea of how your 2025 will shape up. Like something is, ooh, okay. Very interesting. We have the Nine of Pentacles in the upright. Okay, yeah, this is a pretty clear message. We have the Ace of Pentacles in the oh my gosh, Three of Pentacles in the upright, and the King of Cups in the upright. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Five of Cups in reverse. So this is kind of like what all of these events and shifts will lead to. And I'm gonna go ahead and get some oracles as well. We have the Circus with the keyword social. We have the Moon in reverse with intuition. And we have the Butterfly in reverse with transformation. Okay, as you can probably tell, also I just saw 444, which feels very auspicious. As you can probably tell, there's a lot of messages about career coming through for you, and I think it's very interesting that I was picking up that message about you're receiving news very soon that's going to give you a much clearer idea of how 2025 will shape up for you. That's exactly when this Nine of Pentacles came out. So some of you are getting a job offer very soon. This could even happen, like if it's still 2024 when you're watching this, this could even be happening before the new year. You're receiving a job offer, or you're receiving some very positive news about your career, like leveling up in your career or an amazing opportunity coming your way, good news about your financial situation improving. That's coming through very strongly. If you are waiting to hear back from someone regarding your career or a potential opportunity, I think you're going to hear back very soon. And it is looking like good news for my group number ones. And then after this, we also have the Ace of Pentacles, which is literally like new job, new career opportunity, starting a new significant project, money coming in. The keywords here are success and abundance, prosperity, or like making something prosper. So something that you have nurtured and something that you've put a lot of your efforts into is really blossoming in 2025. There's definitely a feeling of your hard work paying off, and an emphasis on it paying off materially, because you know, our efforts can be fulfilling in many different ways. They can pay off in the sense of giving us knowledge and wisdom and experience and recognition, but your guides want you to know that absolutely the monetary aspect is really coming through. My group number ones, it looks like you are making big money in the year 2025. And also, a way your efforts are going to pay off is in confidence and also a level of pride. Like a good healthy level of just being very proud of yourself and being like, I did that, and giving yourself the credit for, I'm hearing accolades, credit for the rewards and the recognition and the accolades that you are receiving. So something you've been working on is really flourishing in 2025. It's really succeeding. This could be, for those of you who have a business, like your business is really starting to take off, a project that you're working on, it's starting to gain visibility, it's starting to gain recognition. This could be your boss at work is really starting to recognize your efforts and is giving you more opportunities, giving you a raise, giving you a promotion. Your efforts are being recognized and they're paying off. That's a really big thing for 2025. And I have a feeling that you are going to be surprised at the level of income you can receive. It's kind of outside of the scope of your expectations. I don't know why the word scope just came in, but it's not really within the realm of what you expected you could make for yourself. It's something you would feel is unrealistic, but by the end of the year, it's kind of going to be a given that you would have that income. Interesting. For those of you who are self-employed, this is a very good energy. You will be supported. If you are thinking about starting a self-employed venture, this could also be the sign that 2025 is a very good year to go for it. Maybe the market is going to be good, whatever you're doing is in high demand, or some costs or expenses are going to be down. It really feels like, in the practical sense, this is a very good time to start. It could also be that your day-to-day expenses or your cost of living or something is lower, and you have more disposable income to invest in projects or hobbies or just things that you want to get started, things that you want to get off the ground. Practically, now is a very good time to do that. I do see that this is going to be a balanced year. So yes, things are looking very good for your work and finances, but I don't really see it becoming your whole life. This is not really an energy where it's like you have to give all of your time and all of your energy into this thing to make it succeed. That is the case sometimes. Sometimes things require really 100% dedication, but maybe you've already been through a period like that. So if at the time that you're watching this, there is something that you've been pouring, 100% of your time and energy and resources into, it's not going to be like that in 2025. You can kind of ease off of it, because I'm actually seeing that your life is going to be balanced and well-rounded. And while work might be a big focus for you, it's not going to be your whole life. So yeah, work-life balance is coming to mind. I don't know if that's a term that you resonate with, but just that you'll have a very healthy balance, a very healthy balance of other things going on in your life. You could be receiving a lot of positive messages. I'm just seeing people reaching out to you and letting you know how much you have impacted them. And there's a feeling of it not being people you talk to regularly. That's interesting. So an example of this would be maybe an old friend from high school who you haven't spoken to in ages, and they're like, hey, maybe they saw from your social media that this is what you're working on right now, and I just want you to know I think it's so cool and keep up the good work, or you inspired me in my own projects, or I heard from so-and-so that you're doing this now and that's amazing. It could even be strangers, in your DMs, or sending fan mail. I'm hearing just a lot of people reaching out and letting you know how inspiring they find you, and specifically encouraging you to keep up the good work, and really letting you know that what you're doing is resonating, and keep doing exactly what you're doing because you're on the right path. I'm hearing that you're on to something. You're really doing all the right things and you're really on the right path. And I think that this is a year where you're really going to be feeling that. It's interesting, all of these cards are in the upright, so there's a lot going on in your outer world. There's a lot happening around you. It's not just things shifting internally, but it's going to actually be a very eventful year in your external life, in your 3D reality. A lot of things are changing. You are moving, you are leveling up. You could be entering into a team or entering into a network of like-minded people, a network of creatives, a network of intellectuals, you're going to be surrounded by people who have influence and people who have connections and people who can help you in a concrete way to reach your goals. It's more than just people giving you advice or people giving you encouragement. It's them actually doing practical things to help you level up. So maybe you tell somebody what your ambitions are and they say, okay, I can introduce you to this person. This person is a higher up. Maybe they can hire you. Maybe they can work with you, or I'll invite you to this event, or I'll set up this opportunity for you. People are really following through, and you'll find that the people who genuinely believe in you and the people who genuinely want to help you, they will act very quickly, and I'm hearing you won't have to pester them about it. And I think that word pester maybe comes from your own insecurity of I hope I'm not bothering this person. But when someone really wants to help you, you don't really have to ask them a bunch of times, they will just act on it very quickly. So yeah, be careful. If someone's stringing you along or dangling an opportunity in front of your face, but never really doing anything about it, they probably their intentions are not very good, plain and simple. That's the message that's coming through. People who have good intentions and really want to help you, they're just going to do it. And luckily, I do feel like you're going to be surrounded by a lot of that energy in 2025. People who are eager to introduce you to more people in their circle, to get you in the loop, to collaborate with you. You know, this is an energy of, yeah, you want to work together? Okay, let's do it. I'll send you something tomorrow. Rather than we vaguely talked about working together and then it gets dragged along for months. You're going to be surrounded by people who are proactive, who take initiative, who show when they're really serious about partnering up with you and just like get the job done. And I feel like you are already in this energy, so you're going to be a wonderful match. But for any of you who feel like you struggle to, you struggle to get started with projects, or you struggle with productivity, being around this kind of people will be really helpful for you. This is going to be a really fulfilling year for work and collaborations and feeling supported in a meaningful way. There's something about the type of support you receive shifting from just words, just intentions, to actual acts, actual acts of assistance, actual acts of service. You're going to see who really means it and who really follows through. And then we have the King of Cups here. So even though things are very eventful and very busy, I actually don't see you being too stressed, and I don't see your inner world being that hectic or chaotic. In fact, I see you very peaceful. So perhaps it's just because the nature of the work you're doing is not that stressful this year. But for many of you, it's likely that you have found some really good mindfulness practices that you do consistently. And you have put into place a routine that keeps you grounded, that reduces stress. I feel like that's your main priority. Something that you maybe will realize in 2025, or maybe that you're realizing now, is that at the end of the day, your own well-being and your inner peace is really the most important thing. And when you prioritize that and you take care of that, everything else will follow. Rather than foregoing your well-being and chasing things in the material world, that's just going to lead to you crashing and burning, and you're going to lose the connection with yourself and then lose sight of why you're even chasing these things. And you're just going to be running around and feeling kind of aimless and frantic and hectic. So your connection with yourself and with your own inner guidance and putting your inner peace above all and really prioritizing that, that's a big theme of 2025. And it's something that I think you're really reaching a level of mastery in. It's something that's going to come naturally to you. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Five of Cups in reverse. And the first thing that came to my mind when I saw this was getting a second chance at something. So this thing you're becoming very successful in, it could be something that you once tried before, or maybe you tried it several times before to no avail, or it just didn't really turn out the way that you wanted it to. And some of you, I'm hearing, this is kind of a strong word, but I'm hearing like you gaslit yourself, in the sense of you maybe tried to make something work and it didn't turn out exactly as you hoped. And then you tried to convince yourself that it was okay, and that you didn't actually want more, and that you didn't actually expect more. And so another theme of this year could be being honest with yourself of, no, actually, this was not what I had hoped for. I actually hoped for more recognition. I hoped for more money. I hoped for more results. And just being really honest about that. You know, the results that I've received up until now, I'm not satisfied with them and I want something more. And I feel like as soon as you're honest about that, it's when you can really start thriving and really start flourishing. You're getting a second chance at something, or you're making a comeback. You could be coming back to a project or yeah, coming back to something you once worked on after a long hiatus, because now your energy is restored and your hope is restored, and you can give it a good and fair chance with all that you've got. The tables are turning and hope is being restored. That's the message for you. It could also be that something that's been very stagnant for you is finally picking up, and it just feels like a 180. This Five of Cups in reverse, it feels like something is turning around. It's turning around for the better. Yeah. So let's look at our oracle cards. We have the Circus with social. So I feel like this ties into 2025 being a very eventful year for you. You will likely be frequently socializing, and you will make a very good impression on people that you meet. You're going to be meeting a lot of new people who give you, parts of them are like a mirror for you to gain clarity about your life purpose and what you want to do. So I guess you're meeting a lot of people who have traits that you also have and that you want to develop within yourself. And you're meeting people who do what you would like to do for a living, or aspects of what they do are similar to the path you're on. And this is acting as a mirror for you to see your potential. And it's also acting as fuel for you. You may be attending a lot of parties, networking parties. Friends and loved ones could also be throwing a lot of parties this year. Like, for example, maybe in 2025, like all of your friends are getting married in the same year, or you're going to a lot of baby showers, or maybe a lot of people in your life are having milestone birthdays, you know, like a 40th, a 50th, a 60th, those kind of bigger parties. I don't know. There's a lot, it feels like a lot of parties and socializing and celebrating things. You're definitely going to be out and about. We also have the moon in reverse with intuition. So I feel like in 2025, the signs are going to be very clear and right in front of your face. And the example I'm thinking of is if you're driving down the road and you see a stop sign, you don't need to use your intuition to figure out what that means. It's very just in your face. The stop sign means stop. So while I do think your intuition is very strong, when it comes to knowing what to do, this is not really, I mean, I can't paint the whole year with a big brush and say you're never going to rely on your intuition, but just that things are going to be very clear and easy to understand. Another example that's coming to my mind is maybe before you would need to kind of rely on your intuition to determine, like, what are this person's intentions? Does this person have good intentions or bad intentions? What feeling are they giving me? Whereas a lot of the people you meet this year, it's just going to be very clear. They're going to show you with their actions if they're good or bad for you. The signs are going to be right in front of your face. Maybe your guides are communicating to you very literally this year, as opposed to through like symbols that you have to decipher. I just feel like throughout the year, you have a lot of certainty. The signs and the instructions are very clear, and you're moving through the year with a lot of certainty. There's definitely a shift for a lot of you in this group of moving out of, you've been working a lot on your inner world up until now, and this is a year where things are really going to start unfolding. Yeah, unfolding in the outer world. And then we also have transformation in reverse. More than a transformation, group one, this is you blooming. Transforming means that you're changing shape. You're shape shifting. You're becoming a new version of you, but you're not really, because this is the you that you've always been. Rather than a transformation, I think this is a blooming. It's a blooming, it's an emerging. It's you stepping onto the stage, and so to speak, or maybe it's a literal stage, and stepping out of your shell. So I don't really think that the people around you are going to see it as a transformation. They're just like, you're finally doing you. You're finally doing your thing. We always knew you had it in you, you know? Imagine you said goodbye to a friend as a caterpillar and came back as a butterfly. Of course, they're going to be like, oh my God, who are you? And what have you done with my caterpillar? Like, what happened to you? But that's not how people are perceiving you. Nobody is surprised by your accomplishments, which I think is a very sweet thing because it means that they always knew you could do it. I think there's people who maybe recognized your potential before you recognized your own potential. So while you may be telling your friend, oh my God, can you believe it? I got this big promotion. Can you believe it? They're like, yes. Like, what do you mean? Of course you got that promotion. You're so talented and you're a genius. So maybe it's you feel like you're changing, but there's people around you who always saw you as this butterfly. And so for them, it's just like, yeah, you're emerging as your true self. That's such a sweet message. Aw. We have the numbers 20, 32, and 8, which could be significant. This is way in the future, but maybe 2032 is going to be a big year for you. And then 20, this is making me think of August of 2032, but these numbers could be significant in some way. Somebody who is 20 or 32 years old or 8 years old, I don't know. Or someone who has an 8-year age gap with you, a life path 8. Okay, so now we're going to look at a blessing and a challenge for this year. Starting with the blessing. Okay, we have the first house, and I feel like that's so fitting because we've been talking about you really emerging as your true self and stepping into your full potential. The biggest blessing for you this year is feeling, and I could cry right now, I swear. I feel these big emotions welling up in me. The biggest blessing for you is feeling like you are in your divine authenticity. This is me. Everything I do, everything I invest my time and efforts into is so in alignment with what my soul wants. And this may be the first time in your whole life that you can say this with full confidence, or the first time in a long time that you are living totally in alignment with your divine authenticity. So feeling like yourself, feeling like you know who you are and you can really be yourself. That's going to be your biggest blessing. We have Mars. When I see Mars, I think you're no longer afraid. When you want to do something, you just do it. When you want to ask someone for something, you just ask them. You're no longer hiding away. You're no longer afraid to make waves. You're no longer walking on eggshells when there's no need to do that. You could be more assertive. You say what's on your mind. And this doesn't mean that you're being like blunt or rude. It's just that you're being direct. You're not hiding away anymore. You're not making yourself smaller. I'm also hearing you're not making your requests smaller because maybe you're not afraid of rejection anymore, or you're not afraid of being told no anymore. So you just ask for what you want. And if the answer is no, that's okay. With the first house in Mars, there could also be a blessing with regards to your physical body. So that could be your health, your fitness level, your physical appearance, your body image. Feeling good in your body, inside and out, is also a blessing of 2025. And then we have Gemini. Yeah, so your life is going to become a lot more simple and less stressful because you're developing this ability to just speak your mind. There's an energy of vague, blurry energies are not going to be dragged out in your life because you solve it right then and there. Like simple yes or no. Do I want to do this or not? If the answer is no, I move on and I get over it and I don't think about it anymore. If the answer is yes, then it's yes, and we get to it right away. It's just kind of like no more nonsense, no more dragging things out, no more wishy-washy energy. I feel like you're entering into this year with a lot of clarity and a lot of decisiveness. And so you invite that energy into your life, because anyone who wants to be like on the fence and wishy-washy with you, they're not going to be able to keep up. You know what I mean? It's like, the bus is leaving at 12. Do you want to come or not? I don't know. Let me think about, like, can I get, like, no, it's leaving at 12. You got to give me an answer. There's no more room for this wishy-washy stuff. So that's going to be a big blessing for you. And it's going to make your life a lot simpler, faster, and stress-free. Okay, what about a challenge? For my group number ones, we have the 12th house. Okay, something about your subconscious is going to be a challenge. Yeah, and the moon, that's definitely something subconscious. And we have Taurus. You may be faced with challenges when it comes to taking things at face value. Like, how do I describe it? Okay, here's an example, because 12th house energy is it can be a bit delulu sometimes, and the moon likes to, in a challenging energy, the moon can try to read between the lines and look for things that are not there. So an easy example of this is like if someone says, oh my God, you look so beautiful today. And then you're like, they said today. Does that mean they don't think I'm beautiful on most days? You know, looking for stuff that they never said that. Or everybody saying, oh my gosh, you did such a great job. And then you have that intrusive thought that says, oh, they're just saying that to be nice. Or, you know, kind of digging for, maybe this is like a negative brain bias, because the truth is that if you just take things at face value and you don't try to dig deeper into it, then you will find the truth. So if someone says you did a good job, you did a good job. If someone says they don't want something serious with you, they don't want something serious with you. It's that kind of energy this year. And so if there's this part of you that tries to dig deeper, or this could even just be intrusive thoughts, you know? Intrusive thoughts could be a challenge, where this is really going to be a year where the truth is what's in front of you. It's in what is tangible. It's in what people actually say, not in like some secret thing that they are hiding. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. So finally, let's get a message from future you, the version of you from the end of 2025. And what do they want to tell you as you step into 2025? This could also be a tendency that your brain has to focus on like the 1% of people who have negative feedback. And that's just something that brains do, okay? I don't think it's specific to you. I know a lot of people on YouTube are like this. I've struggled with this as well, where it's like you get so many lovely comments, but your brain focuses on that one person who said something negative. So that might be a challenge for you, and to just remember that, you know, the comments and the feedback you're receiving is overwhelmingly positive, and that's what really matters. We have meditation. That makes a lot of sense, because I'm like, you're so busy, you're socializing, you're leveling up, and yet you're so calm and in touch with yourself. So maybe this is why. Maybe you're going to be meditating a lot this year. Meet Chutney. Hello, Chutney. I had a dream about a cat last night, but I don't remember anything else, just that there was a cat. Okay, meet Chutney. One day, after a particularly deep meditation, he began to radiate and float. He loves to simultaneously be fully present in his body and his spirit. By simply closing his eyes and observing his breath, he's able to feel what is truly going on within himself. Each subtle sensation becomes vivid with its own unique texture and energy. His mind is like the wide open sky, and his thoughts are like clouds floating by. He watches them arise and dissipate without judgment. Practice with Chutney and watch your awareness brighten until life itself becomes a moving meditation. Ooh, I love that so much. So future you is definitely heightening the importance, highlighting, I think is the word I wanted to say, highlighting the importance of meditation, but that meditation can look like so many different things, whatever works best for you. It could be you can meditate while you're sitting, while you're lying down, while you're exercising, while you're cooking, when you're still, when you're moving. It's really just the practice of observing your thoughts without holding on to them and just letting them pass through and focusing on your breath. This is advice that future you is giving, but I think it's something that they already know you're going to master and that you are in the process of mastering. And it's just the art of not identifying strongly with the thoughts that pass through your head. This is kind of something I'm going through recently, and it's very interesting because I used to get all worked up about the different little stressful and worrisome thoughts going through my head. And to this day, they're still there. Like my brain's just firing off all these random worries, but I just kind of observe it and I'm like, oh, yep, there she goes again. And I don't really hold on to or identify with any of those thoughts. And then they just pass on by. So I think that's advice that future you is giving you and something that they know you're going to master. So, it's interesting too that we were just speaking about intrusive thoughts and you don't have to identify with them and you don't have to beat yourself up for having them, like, oh, why do I just focus on the one negative thing that one person said? Why do I have to be like that? Why can't I be more grateful? Like, rather than judging yourself like that, just understand that our brains do have that kind of negativity bias, and it's not any sort of moral failing. It's not going to mess up your manifestations or your blessings. It's just clouds passing through. I don't know who originally said this, or if it's just a concept, but your mind is like the sky and your thoughts are like the weather. So you are not your thoughts. They are just weather that is passing through. And I guess that's something that future you really wants you to remember as you step into this year. Okay, so group number ones, this is everything I'm seeing for you. So we're gonna go into the extended now, where we see the most significant connections that will be in your life in 2025, who these people are and why they're gonna be so important. We are going to see, will it happen in 2025? So it is any event that you want to know about. We will see yes, no, or maybe, and why. And then we're also going to see when it will happen, whether that is in 2025 or a bit later. We will get a specific timing prediction. So if that sounds good to you and you would like to join me in the extended, I'm going to have that link down below in the description as well as in the pinned comment. However, if you're going to leave the reading here, I want to say thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch tons of timeless, exclusive pick a card readings just like this one, and you can also decide on topics for future readings. I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video. That is an original song. I'll also have my latest release link down below. And finally, my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, to anyone who appeared in this reading, to your higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Hi number twos, so if you guys chose the red heart-shaped ornament, this is going to be your reading. I just want to say thank you so much for being here, and thank you for choosing this reading out of the many 2025 readings that I'm sure are going up right now. It really means a lot that you would click on here, and I'm really happy that we get to spend this time together, so let's get into it. Today's reading is going to be focusing on the major events and the major shifts coming your way in 2025. We're going to be looking at both your inner world as well as your outer world, and see what is shifting and what these shifts are going to lead to. We are going to see what your biggest blessing will be of 2025 and how you can make the most of it. We'll also see what your biggest challenge will be of 2025 and how you can overcome it. And then we're going to finish off with a message from the version of you in the future who is at the end of 2025, and what message they would give to you right now as you step into 2025. And then we also have an extended today. So in the extended, we're going to see the most significant people or the most significant connections that will be in your life in 2025. This could be new people, this could be existing connections, but we're going to see who these people are and why they are so important in 2025. What is happening between you and them? And then we're going to see, will it happen in 2025? So it can be anything, any event you can think of that you want to know whether this is going to happen in 2025 or not. And so we will pull the cards to see if the answer is yes, no, or maybe, as well as why. And then we're also going to see when. So regardless of what this answer is, yes, no, or maybe, we're going to see when. So this could be a time in 2025, it could be a time a bit after, but we are going to get that specific time frame. So that's the reading that we're going to be doing today, and let's get into it. Starting off with the tarot, and I will be taking reversals today throughout the reading. What are the major events or the major shifts that are happening for my group number twos in 2025? We have the Lovers in reverse, the Fool in the upright, ooh, the Empress in the upright, wow. And then we have the Nine of Swords in reverse. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Eight of Swords in reverse. I'm also going to get some clarifying cards for these. Okay, for your clarifiers, we have the Mask in the upright with false. We have the Sun in the upright with strength. And we have the Child in the upright with Play. Okay, these are nice cards to get in reverse, honestly. The Nine of Swords in reverse and the Eight of Swords in reverse. This is going to be a huge year for healing, especially with healing your mental health, because you are eliminating some root cause of a lot of your stresses or a lot of your fears or insecurities, and you're moving into inner peace. You are going to see your mental health improving a lot in the year of 2025, feeling more grounded, more focused, more in touch with yourself, more in your body. Let's get into this. So we're starting off with the Lovers in reverse. And honestly, the first thing that came to my mind when I saw this was a relationship ending. But then I thought, maybe that's a bit too literal. Let's just see what happens. But now that I see this full spread, this is what it really looks like to me. Especially because we have the mask clarifying with the keyword false. There's a feeling of false love, or just love that is not true. So some of you might be coming to the realization of, this is not the right person for me. This is not the right partner for me. This is not the right friend for me. You may be realizing that someone was not really who they said they were. And, this could be in terms of deception, but it could also just be that, for example, let's say when you met someone, they were talking about how important communication is to them and how important openness is to them. But now that you've been in this relationship with them, you realize that they actually don't really communicate much and they're not very open. So it's what they said was important to them, and what their actions actually show you is different. It's like someone gave you a false impression or a false idea of who they really are. This could even be in a professional situation where you were given a certain idea of what the job was going to be like or what the workplace dynamic was going to be like. For example, at the interview, the person was like, yeah, we really believe in teamwork and lifting each other up here. But then when you get there, you feel very unsupported and you feel that nobody is being cooperative with you. So it's like, you were kind of sold this fantasy idea of what a partnership was going to be like, and then kind of realizing that it's not for you. This could even be a mask that you were wearing and told yourself that you wanted a certain type of relationship, but now you're realizing that that's not for you. Maybe you were wearing a mask and telling yourself, this is just one example, but that you wanted that kind of traditional marriage and kids and all of that. But now that you've taken the mask off, you realize that that's not the life you want to live, and that's okay. But it's just, the truth is coming out, and you're realizing a certain partnership that you've had is just not the truth. It's not what you really want, or it's not really in alignment. And so you're freeing yourself with this Fool card. And it takes a lot of strength because there's some aspect of starting over. With the 0 card on the Fool, it's like a clean slate, going back to square one, starting over. But you will be free in this way. There may also be a careless act that is kind of the trigger for you to make this move. So, for example, maybe you're in a friendship or you're in a relationship and you feel like this person is not very thoughtful, this person is not very caring, but you're kind of on the fence, and then maybe they slip up and they forget something really, really important. And you're like, okay, yeah, this person does not care about the relationship. It's like someone forgets something, or someone makes a mistake that if they really knew you, or if they really cared deeply about you, they would not have made that mistake, or they would not have slipped up in that way. Someone may even slip up and expose a lie, you know, like, because, you know, sometimes you can't keep track if you're not telling the truth, and then they slip up and say something and you're like, wait, but that doesn't match with the story you told me before. And then they just, you know, they can't backpedal, they can't hide it anymore. And yeah, there may be some kind of deception like that coming out because of their own foolishness. But it's, yeah, realizing some kind of partnership is not for you and freeing yourself from it, and that taking a lot of strength because it means you're starting over. I think that's a big theme of the year. It's interesting that you were drawn to the heart-shaped ornament because, you know, relationships or matters of the heart seem to be a big theme. And at the end of the day, you realize that you are choosing love with this Empress card. And this may be a perspective thing. I feel like this is the way you're framing the situation, that you realize, actually, I'm not walking away from love, I'm choosing love. So, you know, let's say you were in a relationship and you felt that this person was not right for you. And maybe before you framed it as in, am I going to walk away or am I going to choose love? And now you're like, no, walking away is choosing love, because I need to be choosing to love myself in this situation. I need to be choosing what is best for me. And this freeing yourself, it really feels like a pivotal moment in your life, because this is the moment where you choose you. This is the moment where you choose to love yourself and to take care of yourself, and where you choose to trust your relationship with Spirit. And you know that wherever you go, Spirit will follow you there, and Spirit will bless you. I'm thinking of the song Die With a Smile by Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. And I'm specifically thinking about the lines, wherever you go, that's where I'll follow. Nobody's promised tomorrow. And also that hook, if the world was ending, I want to be next to you. You may even be thinking in dramatic terms like that. If the world was ending tomorrow, would I actually want to be with this person? And if the answer is no, then maybe I'm going to move on. And if the answer is yes, then I'm really, really going to cherish this connection. Thinking of it in dramatic terms like that might actually help to bring clarity. But I actually thought of that song because I thought of this little dog as Spirit following you wherever you go. Wherever you go, that's where I'll follow. Whatever you choose to do, I will follow you there, and I will bring you blessings. So don't think that you need to stay somewhere that feels out of alignment. Otherwise, you're going to lose some blessing. Spirit is saying, I wouldn't do that to you. You can go where you feel free. You can go where the weight is lifted. You can choose yourself. You can choose love. And then we have the 9 of Swords and the 8 of Swords in reverse, which is stress is going away. I feel like I said, your mental health is improving, but I also feel like your self-esteem and your self-image is improving a lot. There may be certain partnerships or certain dynamics you were in that did negatively impact your self-esteem or make you doubt yourself in some way that maybe you hadn't realized before, that made you doubt your own judgment. I was just reading through the comments on one of my videos, and someone was talking about a relationship of theirs that ended, and they said, you know, they spent their time overlooking their partner's mistakes while their partner spent all their time trying to find mistakes in them. You know, I overlooked all your mistakes while you just spent your time pointing out mine. So maybe some of you are in a dynamic like that, and there's something about reframing. That word is coming through a lot. Reframing a past dynamic where Maybe before you thought, oh, this person really cares about me and that's why they're pointing out my flaws because they want to help me improve. Oh, it must be so hard for them to be honest about this with me and to be honest about my flaws. That's a sign that they really love me. And then when you get out of the dynamic, you're like, oh no, they were straight up being condescending towards me. They were actually knocking down my self-esteem. Certain behaviors that you framed as like, oh, they're doing that because they care, or, oh, I'm sure they have good intentions. Once you can get out of that situation, you may realize the truth. But that realization, although it could feel heavy or sad at first, it mostly feels freeing. It feels enlightening. It feels freeing. It feels like I'm not going to put up with that anymore. There's a feeling of rejoicing, I'm hearing, reuniting, rejoining with your true worth. And you're no longer going to hold yourself back anymore. Many of you, this is about reclaiming your life and reclaiming what you really want to do. Some of you may be leaving a dynamic where someone was discouraging you from pursuing something you wanted to pursue. Maybe someone was discouraging you from moving or from traveling, from going back to school, from following your dream. Like, tried to make you feel like, oh, that's not a practical thing to do, or no, I wouldn't really be suited for that. It's just an unrealistic dream. And now that you're out of that partnership, it's kind of like some spell, you're breaking free from some spell that was over you and feeling like, wait a minute, I can do anything. Why did I let someone convince me that I can't do anything? Why did it's this kind of something that had come over you. You're breaking the spell. And so I see you with this renewed motivation to believe in yourself and to go after what you really want to do. The sun and the child, this reminds me of the sun in tarot, because there's a child on the sun card, and it does talk about the inner child. It talks about being carefree, finding joy in your life. Life is about to become a lot more joyful as you are uninhibited, as you are limitless, as you don't hold yourself back anymore and you do the things that you really want to do. Your relationship with your own inner child is probably going to be very strong and very, very beautiful this year. If you do have children, then your relationship with your children, I think, is really going to be flourishing and is really going to be front and center. This could also be with your parents for some of you, and in which case you are the child. But there really is a sense of a new dawn, a new beginning, and a newfound, it's not a newfound freedom, it's a reclaimed freedom. And there's also a shift happening for some of you where someone is so afraid of not having a plan. Someone is afraid of just wandering with no plan. But then once the plan falls apart, they realize how freeing it is, and it feels so good to not have a plan. They're afraid of losing their plan until they actually lose it. That's for some of you. You're afraid of not having a plan, but then once you don't have a plan, you're like, oh my God, I never want a plan again. This feels so good. I can explore, I can travel, I can experiment, I can be creative. I don't have to define my life as something or put labels on myself. Yeah, that's a big theme. Being afraid of losing something until you actually lose it and then realizing how good it feels. Okay, so let's see what a big blessing is going to be for you in 2025. We have the number 12, We have Mars. Oh, Mars, which then changed to the moon. So this is a blessing that you're giving yourself, but it's the courage. It's the courage to act on your intuition without doubting yourself. I feel like many of you in this group, you get this initial gut instinct about situations or people that is correct, but then start to second guess yourself before you can act on it. And so a blessing coming for you is the ability to be able to trust your intuition the first time and the courage to act on it swiftly. And and this is how you protect yourself with Cancer. And Cancer is also highly intuitive. This is how you protect yourself. Also, you're receiving the blessing, or again, giving yourself the blessing of getting to be the main character in your life and giving yourself permission to live your life with a childlike wonder. I think you're approaching life through the perspective of you're playing, you're experimenting, and you're exploring yourself rather than having to fit into some box or follow some guidelines or, prove that you can do this or that or prove that you can be this or that. It's just about allowing yourself to unfold and enjoying that unfolding. Yeah, freedom and releasing yourself from your stresses is a big theme. What about a challenge? What's a challenge for my group number 2s? We have 11. Okay, something about friendships. Maybe this is a friend that you're going through this situation with. Or something about communities as well, like larger communities. This could even be a community that you're leaving behind, because I just heard you realize they don't practice what they preach. So you could have been in a community that they claim that their values are based in this and that, but then they don't practice what they preach. They don't see the truth, or they don't follow the truth that they claim to know. We have the North Node. Okay. And we have Taurus. Okay. Yeah. There's something about the difference between ideals and actions. Maybe there's a challenge in trusting, like you like the sound of something, you like the ideal that's being presented, but is this person or is this group really going to follow through with it? If you're going to make any sort of commitment, make sure that it's not just you like what you're hearing or you like how they're making you feel. And make sure that you are seeing concrete proof or concrete results. That's something to be aware of. Also, there's something about the very thing that you might be avoiding is the very thing that will lead you to your purpose, or that will lead you to fulfilling your purpose. It could be the very thing you're avoiding or the very thing you're afraid of. Just one example. Maybe you are someone who really, really prefers to work alone, but the key to your success is through working with others. So it's like the very thing that you've been resisting, I could also say. There's something like that, and I think it does have to do with teamwork or collaboration or cooperation with others. And whereas it's easier, it may feel easier to do it yourself because then you can just stick to your own vision and you don't have to compromise anything. But the key to your success may involve may actually involve compromising. I'm hearing being a bit less stubborn about your vision or about your approach, and accepting input or feedback or assistance from others. That's just one example, but you'll find success through the thing that you are avoiding, or through the thing that you're like kind of scared of doing. And that will be a challenge this year. So for the last message, this is going to be from future you. So this is you who is at the end of 2025, and what message they will give current you who is about to go into 2025. What message does future group number 2 have for group number 2? Ooh, that's a pretty one. Okay, so it's called Tending the Garden. Meet Gala. Her peculiar flowers bloom in the sun of her nurturing love and care. In a tucked away corner of the forest, she planted a few precious seeds. For months, she watered the earth and sang patient love songs. Above the surface, nothing appeared to be happening, so the other kitties didn't understand why she spent so much time in the overlooked spot. Eventually, delicate emerald tendrils peeked out of the soil. Gala loved and protected them until wondrous blossoms burst forth. What seeds can you nurture in your heart? What garden are you trying to grow? That's so beautiful. So, yeah, future you is saying, you'll see as you go through this year that a very big theme and the biggest priority for you will be caring for yourself, committing to yourself, and nurturing your hopes and dreams. Recognizing that it's a lifelong labor of love. I think something else this year is you might be a lot more gentle with yourself in terms of your goals, kind of setting smaller and more realistic goals rather than setting these huge goals that are so different from your current reality, and then, beating yourself up if you can't reach them. Just kind of, this sounds weird, but holding your own hand, I guess, and taking it slow, taking it one day at a time, breaking your goals down into small, manageable tasks, and also giving yourself room, again, to experiment and to change your mind. If you come back to the goals you had set at the end of the year and realize that you didn't do any of them, that's actually okay. Maybe you didn't achieve the goals you originally planned, but you achieved different things, and that's just as valuable. I think you're no longer sticking to the plan on a pedestal. That's a very big thing. And that goes back to that message about being afraid of not having a plan. It's almost this energy of, I would rather stick to a goal that I don't even care about anymore just to prove that I can follow through. Because even if I don't care anymore, if I let go of the goal, then I feel like a quitter or I feel like a failure. And I think you don't feel that way anymore. Because you don't see it as quitting, because you're not quitting on yourself. You're just changing your mind about a certain goal. So, and same thing even in day to day. This happens to me sometimes where I didn't do the things on my to-do list for the day, but I did a bunch of other stuff. And you have to make a note of that. Otherwise you'll feel like, oh no, I didn't do anything today. I'm so lazy or I'm so undisciplined. But it's like, no, you just did other stuff. And if you wrote all of it down, you would see how many good things you got done. And doing nothing sometimes is okay too. It just feels like being a lot more gentle with yourself. I think when we say tending the garden is you. It's you, it's your wishes and dreams that are always growing and changing with you. and that being okay. You are a living, breathing organism. I mean, you know that, but I think you want to let yourself grow naturally without just see what direction you grow in, or what shape you grow in, what colors you bloom in, rather than trying to control or predict the outcome beforehand. It's like, just, you want to let you show yourself how you bloom and how you grow and how you expand. I have my hand over my heart right now. I don't know why. It just feels very like emotional and very getting in touch with yourself. Something that might also be a challenge that I thought of when I was reading this passage, and then with that message about community, is, I think there are definitely other people who live in this kind of way, but I think societally there is still a lot of pressure to define success in a certain way and to fit in certain boxes and to check certain boxes. And so, just like this card says, when you're being gentle and patient with yourself and singing love songs to yourself and not feeling pressured in any other direction, there may be people who don't understand that, and being able to not let that sway you. I was kind of wondering with this 12th house energy if some of you may have a tendency of being impressionable. Same. I have a lot of 12th house and Pisces stuff going on, and that can be one of the traits associated with it. And being impressionable is not inherently good or bad, but if you happen to be surrounded by people who are like, why are you doing that, and questioning your choices, if you're impressionable, then you might start, wait, maybe they're right. Maybe what I'm doing is weird. Maybe what I'm doing is wrong. And so that could also be a challenge, but stay firm in your commitment to yourself, and your commitment to take care of yourself, and your commitment to let your soul show you how it blooms and how it unfolds, because it's going to be so worth it. And it's the same other kitties who are questioning your methods, who one day are going to come back around to your beautiful flourishing garden and be like, oh my gosh, how did you make such a beautiful garden? And it's like, it's almost as if dumping a bunch of chemicals on your garden and yelling at it to grow faster is not going to yield these results. Like, you yielded these results because you slowed down. You listened to yourself. You listened to what you needed. You didn't fall for the false sense of urgency that the world tries to give you, or the false to-do lists and blueprints and deadlines. You didn't fall for that. You said, no, my life is a beautiful garden. My life is a beautiful work of art, and I'm going to tend to it with love and care and patience. I'm not playing your game. And then all you people are going to come back around and ask me how I did it. And whether you like my answer or not, I don't know. But I did not do it by playing your game. I can tell you that for sure. So that's going to be your vibe at the end of 2025. Yes. Okay, so these are all the messages that I'm seeing for you. We're gonna head into the extended now, where we see the most significant connections that will be in your life in 2025, who these people are and why they're gonna be so important, what's gonna be happening with them. And we're also gonna see, will it happen in 2025? Again, it is any event that you wanna ask about. So we'll see, is it gonna happen? Yes, no, or maybe, and why? And when is it going to happen? When in 2025, or if not, when at a later time? Yeah, so that's going to be the extended. If you would like to join me there, it's going to be linked down below in the description as well as in the pinned comment. However, if you're going to leave the reading here, I want to say thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch tons of timeless, exclusive pick a card readings. We have over 100 readings there now, and you can also decide on topics for future readings. I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video. That is an original song. I'll also have my latest release link down below. And finally, my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, to anyone who appeared in this reading, directly or indirectly, to your higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I'm wishing you guys an amazing year of 2025. This is going to be such, maybe a bit scary, but beautiful and fulfilling year. And I'm sending you so much love. I think I already said that, but I'm sending you love again. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Hi, number threes. So if you guys chose the silver star-shaped ornament, this is going to be your reading. I just wanted to say thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for choosing this as one of your 2025 readings out of all of the 2025 readings that I'm sure are going up right now. It really means a lot that you would click on here and that you're spending this time with me. So today's reading is going to be focused on the major events and the major shifts happening in your life in 2025. We're going to look at both your inner world and your outer world and see what these shifts are going to lead to for you. We will see your biggest blessing and how you can make the most of it, as well as your biggest challenge and how you can overcome it. And then we're also going to get a message from future you. So this is going to be you who is at the end of 2025 and what message they would give to you right now who is about to enter into 2025. So we also have an extended today, and in the extended we're going to see the most significant people or the most significant connections that will be in your life in 2025. This could be new people or existing connections, but we're going to see who these people are and why they are so important, what's going to be happening between you. And we're also going to see, will it happen in 2025? So it is literally any event that you have on your mind if you want to know whether or not it's going to happen this year. And we're going to answer yes, no, or maybe, including the reason why. And we're also going to see when it's going to happen. So whether it's in 2025 or a bit later, we are going to get a specific time frame for that. So that's the reading that we have today, and let's get into it. So we're going to start with the tarot, and I'm going to be taking reversals throughout today's reading. $2025 for my group number threes. I just heard like, here we go. So I don't know if maybe there's some of you who, it almost feels like a here we go in the sense of we already think that it's going to be a hard year, or we're not expecting much out of the year. There was that kind of feeling. Let's see what's going on. Oh, well, if that's you, you are going to be proven wrong, because the first card that we have is the Six of Wands shooting out. Then we have a Three of Swords in reverse, which cartwheeled across the table, as I think you just saw. That is sideways. Let's just take her in the upright, but I'll make a mental note that she was sideways. So we have the High Priestess, and then we have the Devil in reverse. Beautiful. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Nine of Cups in the upright. I love this energy, group number three. Okay, we're also gonna get some clarifiers. feel like there's gonna be a really fun trip that you go on in the summer of 2025, because I just see people hanging out outdoors, maybe at a barbecue or camping at a lake or something. It just looks like fun outdoor summer activities. Okay, so for our clarifiers, we have the path in reverse with decision. We have the clouds in the upright with unclear. And we have the Venus in reverse with intimacy. Okay. I'm actually not sure if these are clarifiers or if it's just additional information after we go through the tarot, but we'll get into it. So we have to talk about this Six of Wands and this Nine of Cups, because this represents that you are reaching some major goal of yours in 2025, or a big wish of yours is coming true. And it has to do with success in a particular endeavor. For those of you who have a wish to be successful in a particular endeavor, or to reach a certain goal, or to hit a certain milestone, that is definitely coming true in 2025. I'm hearing you hit a target. So any goal of yours that has a specific target, you know, you want to make a certain amount of money, you want to get a certain number of followers, maybe there's like a health or fitness goal that you want to reach, and you're going to reach it by this year. You're going to hit the number, you're going to hit the target. You could be breaking a record, a personal record, or you could even be breaking a record within a field or an industry or within a certain activity. But whatever you're doing is outstanding, and it is going to be recognized by others. Yeah, wish is coming true, and it's going to be, there's something about it's going to be easier than you thought, or you're waiting for the catch, but there is no catch. Or you're waiting for the dark side, but there is no dark side. So an example of this would be, let's say you had a dream of becoming famous, and then that wish comes true. And you've heard all of these stories about the dark side of the industry, or the dark side of being famous, and you're waiting for these bad things or these bad feelings to settle in, and it doesn't. Imagine that. It's like there's no catch. There's no catch, there's no price to pay, there's no dark or bad side of it. It really feels like it's bringing all positive things into your life. And you might feel like, am I missing something? Like things are going too well, but no, that's it. It's only positive things coming out of the achievement of this wish, and you deserve that. We all deserve that sometimes. Not everything has to be like, oh, you got this blessing, but now you have to pay this price, and now you have to go through this bad experience too. Sometimes we feel like that, but I think the universe really wants to show you this year that you can just receive good things, and that's it. Plain and simple. And for some of you, I'm actually getting the message that there's no challenge because you already worked through the challenges before you reached this success. So maybe a lot of the challenges people face in a similar situation to you is because of some unhealed aspects of themselves, because of some insecurities that they have, and because you already dealt with those, the way forward is only positive things. In fact, this experience might actually be healing for you in a very positive way. So any healing on the road ahead, it's not going to be challenging. It's going to be healing that feels really good. So another example of this would be like, let's say your wish was to meet your soulmate and you met them. And you're like, okay, I met my soulmate. Now we're going to have to like trigger each other, and now we're going to have to activate each other's shadows and do all this shadow work so that we can be together. And it's like, nope, you already did the heavy lifting. You already healed your shadows. And so you're just going to be happy together. Okay, but what's the catch? There's no catch. You're just going to be happy together. And it's like any healing you go through with this partner is not difficult. It's the type of healing of, oh my gosh, being in this healthy relationship and this person treating me well really makes me realize the type of poor treatment I accepted in the past. And I feel like it's so healing to know that I can receive this good treatment. You know what I mean? So it's like healing that doesn't make you feel like shit. I can put it that way. This is going to be a really, really positive year, and take it, group 3. You deserve it. Like, we deserve some years sprinkled in there in our life that is sunshine and rainbows. And this is going to be one of those years for you. Yes, absolutely. We have the devil in reverse, which this is a lovely card to be in the reverse because it means that you're breaking free from limiting beliefs. You could be breaking free from any restrictions that have been placed upon you. If there's any rules, whether that's in your workplace, in your apartment building, I'm hearing, I don't know, in your workplace, in your place of study, in your living situation, any rules that have restricted you from doing what you want, I feel like those rules are going to be changed or lifted, or someone will make an exception for you. The example I'm thinking of is maybe your landlord was always like, no pets allowed, no pets allowed. And this year they're like, nah, you can get a pet. It's something like that. Some rule is being lifted, or maybe there used to be an annoying dress code in place somewhere, and now you can just wear your regular clothes. Or you are getting an extension on your visa, or you're getting a different type of license and there's less restrictions with that license. Something that had been hanging over you and that was restricting you, you're going to be granted more freedoms. It could also be you're being granted special permission for something. Yeah, some of you're getting special permission or special treatment, or some exception to the rule is being made for you. And it's purely an energetic thing. You're just manifesting it. Something internally that I think is shifting for you is that you're giving yourself permission to feel the joy of your wishes coming to fruition before they happen. So your wishes coming true, it's no longer the condition for you being happy. You give yourself permission to feel that joy before it happens, or even if it doesn't happen. You're like, I'm going to be happy no matter what, and really finding that joy in your inner world. I think a lot of the goals you're reaching this year and a lot of the wishes that are coming true, it's like deep down, you always knew that they were coming. It's not really a surprise to you. You may be surprised in how suddenly they seem to have appeared, or how effortlessly certain things happened. Are you surprised by the nature of the things happening? I don't think so. I think you've intuitively known they were coming for a long time. You've probably already received a lot of messages about these wishes coming true through your own readings or meditations or dreams, or even in readings you've received from others. Like, you know this very well. And you're ready. You will be ready. There's also a clear message coming through about you will not have imposter syndrome. That's interesting. You're ready, and you know that you're ready. You know that whenever you receive this, you're going to do a good job, or you're going to be confident. Yeah, you know this. You could be in a sort of secret or low-key situation this year. So maybe you get a job offer, but you cannot tell a lot of people about your job. You can't tell a lot of people what you're doing or that you even have this job. Maybe you're working with some high profile people. Maybe you are the high profile person. The high priestess is giving me that feeling. Or maybe, okay, I just heard the example of someone who's working on a movie set and they're not allowed to tell, because they can't spoil what's in the movie. You know, if they're working on like a really big movie that's highly anticipated, they can't go around saying what the movie's about. And if maybe they see a budding romance between some of the actors on set, they can't go around telling people about that because they're going to get in trouble. So I don't know if you would get in trouble, but for whatever reason, you have to keep some things under wraps with regards to a certain opportunity you're experiencing. Or maybe you just made that decision for yourself. Like maybe you got into a new relationship and it's going really, really well. And you're like, I kind of don't want to tell people yet because it's going so well. I just want to, there's some things you might want to keep to yourself. And oh, I just heard they're still checking on you. This is maybe a specific message for a few of you. For those of you who've had a sneaking suspicion, whether someone from your past or multiple people from your past are still checking up on you or not, they in fact are. Some of them may even be doing a lot and have a separate account that they try to check on you from so you don't know it's them. But there may be certain people from your past, and this is definitely an envious kind of energy. And so for those of you who are feeling like you don't want to broadcast, or if you want to keep certain things to yourself because you just don't want to invite that kind of jealous energy, I could confirm that those jealous people from your past are still checking on you. I don't know who that's for, but with that being said, if you want to share about the amazing things going on in your life, don't let that stop you. My goodness, don't let that stop you. But I think that message is more so for those of you who are feeling called to keep things for yourself. Like you want to keep things to yourself, and your spiritual team is confirming that. They're validating that call that you feel to sort of keep things private or keep things sacred. You could be doing something under an alias, and so people don't know it's you. For example, well, I mean, I think people in my life would know this is me because I wear these rings all the time and these tattoos are recognizable, and like my voice. But just imagine I never revealed my identity and I'm just KINO Tarot and nobody knows who KINO is. It could be something like that. You're doing something, maybe you're writing a book under a pen name and nobody knows it's you who wrote the book, or you're getting credited on a project like under a different name or something like that. Something about your involvement could be hidden in something. Oh, okay, I just heard someone's writing songs about you and you know it's about you, but the listeners don't know it's about you. And you're like, like that love song, that's about me. That's also probably just for a few of you, but you're either involved with some high profile people, or you are working with or around them, or you are the high profile person and you have to keep certain things like secret. You're someone's muse, I'm hearing too. You're someone's muse. What's going on with you guys, group number 3? Because these are all, it's things that you've been wishing for. It's things that you've been manifesting. I actually like this energy a lot. The path in reverse with decision. There's a message about the illusion of decision, where deep down, you always knew this is the path for me. This is what I really want. And you don't have to lie to yourself about it anymore. So maybe there was a period where you kind of said like, oh yeah, I could go down this path for my life, but I also have these other options. Or I like this person, but I'm going to keep my options open. Maybe you even kind of, I don't want to say pretended, but maybe kind of convinced yourself, what should I do with my life? Should I go down this path or should I do something else? And we don't have to do that anymore. Like, come on, that's really the feeling with the high priestess. It's like, that this is your path. That this is what you truly wanted to do. And now we can just be truthful to ourselves about that. And it feels really, really good. Yeah. We have unclear and we have intimacy in reverse. So I would say at this phase of your life, you are becoming magnetic to a lot of different kinds of people. Lots of people approaching you, wanting to get to know you, wanting to be in your life. What's the opposite of giving the benefit of the doubt? Giving the doubt of the benefit, that's not a thing. Do the opposite of giving people the benefit of the doubt. Assume that people have bad intentions until they prove otherwise. And that might really go against your nature, group number 3. You might be the type of person who wants to, give everyone a chance and wants to assume the best in everyone. But there's something about the position and the status that you're going to have this year, the type of recognition and the type of attention that you're receiving, that you might have to just assume that people are sketchy until they prove that you can trust them. Just for new people in your life, okay? Rather than operating from, I will trust you until you prove that you're untrustworthy, it's, I will be skeptical of you until you prove that you're trustworthy. So go in like assuming that people are untrustworthy. And honestly, it might sound pessimistic, but when I say it, it doesn't carry a pessimistic energy. It feels smart. It feels like I'm protecting myself. This is just what I have to do. And then if you prove to be a trustworthy person, I can be pleasantly surprised. Because when I see these two together, it really feels like, don't be intimate with someone or don't share intimate details if you have any shadow of doubt about their intentions. So from this, we can also learn that if somebody is genuine and has good intentions, it will be very, very clear. So you're gaining some kind of status. Group number 3, you could be gaining a bit of celebrity or you're closely connected to a high status person. And so think about someone in that position. They're not going to go around sharing intimate details with everybody. And they might just kind of have a guard up. There may be a person who tries to get close to you because they want to get close to someone in your life. So, I don't know, let's say you're best friends with a famous person and then someone's trying to be all friendly with you and you kind of get a weird feeling and you suspect they're just trying to get close to your famous friend. Like there's something like that. Someone's trying to get to something they want through you and it feels sketchy. And it's like, let's not even go there. If someone feels sketchy, you don't have to respond to them. That's another thing for this year is that you don't not everybody is owed a response from you. Not everybody is owed an explanation from you. You really have to remember who are your loved ones and who are just random people. And I feel like that's really important for my group number 3s because I think you're the type of person who wants to be friendly and loving towards everybody. And that's a beautiful thing. But I think sometimes you have to remind yourself, like, this is not my best friend who I oh, a response and an explanation and this and that. This is a random person. Like I don't have to respond to this person. So there might be a lot of, I don't want to say random because that sounds rude, but strangers, people you don't really have a close relationship with who are approaching you and wanting to get close to you this year. And you just have to be very, very discerning. I think that's all. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be a sad thing. That's really coming through too. It's just, we're just being smart. Okay. So let's look at a big blessing that is coming for you in 2025. We have the number 6. Okay, that feels like health, a blessing in health, which could be physical health or mental health. This can also be getting your shit together and feeling very grateful because you feel that what you enjoy doing and what you're really good at is just happens to be the way in which you can best serve the collective. So you can selfishly choose what you truly want to do and feel good about yourself knowing that this is actually the best way you can serve others. And when those two things align, it just feels really good. We have Neptune. Okay. Finding a routine that doesn't stifle your creativity. Finding a routine that works with you, works with your fluctuations, works for your specific type of brain or your specific approach. That adds to your creativity rather than taking away from it. Yeah, and we also have the sign of Aquarius. Realizing the blessing is a realization that all you ever had to do in order to best serve the collective was to be exactly who you are and pursue what your heart already naturally wants. And this is a pattern you're breaking free from group number 3, because I see you having these things in your heart that you want to manifest. And then instead of just letting yourself want them, you go, I don't know, but is that really what's in the highest good for other people? Is that really what's in the highest good for the collective? And it's such a wonderful thing that you even consider that, but you're realizing that they're one and the same. The desires that are in your heart, the path that you want to go down is the very path that will serve others and serve the collective in the best way. And it's not one or the other. It's not, do I choose what I want or do I choose what will benefit the collective? Because they're the same thing. And that the blessing, that in itself is a blessing, but I think a big blessing for you this year is having that realization. So probably you're going to get to see firsthand as these wishes come true for you and you're living out your dream reality, you're going to see how many other people benefit from that. And it's very fulfilling. What about a challenge for group number 3s? Okay, we have the sign of Leo, the first house, and Venus. Okay, there's a lot of eyes on you. There's a lot of attention on you. And sometimes this could make you self-conscious. And you may be concerned with your first impressions, your appearance, how you come across to other people. You're very aware of the eyes that are on you. When I'm having a conversation with my best friend, I don't have to worry about every little word that I say and how it's coming across, because I know, like, my best friend gets me. She knows me, she loves me. It's, it's easy. If I'm in an interview, it's different. I'm just saying this as a hypothetical, right? When you're in an interview, suddenly you're hyper aware of, oh, could that thing I just said be misconstrued in some way? Or do people like my outfit? Is my I'm also thinking of during like the pandemic when everybody was on Zoom calls And so it's like, I wasn't insecure about this feature on my face before, but now that I'm seeing it on my screen on Zoom every day, suddenly I'm noticing this flaw. So it's something about you're being magnified or you're being observed more by others and by yourself. You're observing yourself a lot more. Maybe you're seeing yourself on camera more or on screen, or you're being documented more, or you're being perceived more. There's something like that. And then you become more aware of how you come across to others. And everybody thinks about that a little bit, right? Throughout our day, we're like, I don't know, do I have tomato sauce on my face? Or like, are my clothes wrinkly? Did that person find what I said annoying? We're thinking about those little things from day to day of how others perceive us, but I feel like for you, it's happening on a larger scale, or it's just more acute. And so there's something about your self-perception or your self-consciousness or your self-awareness is being magnified. And you're trying hard to like look your best and appear your best and come across in the best way. And that could be a bit of a challenge. I'm hearing it's as much of a challenge as you want it to be, because all you really have to do is just put effort into it and then let go of the outcome. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to please everybody. It sounds cliche, but it's very true. At the end of the day, you're not going to please everybody. So if you're like, I put on my good clothes today and I did that interview respectfully, and now I just let go of the outcome. And if someone has a problem with what I said, like you can't please everybody. It doesn't have to be, because it's not a real thing that you have to worry about. Nobody can or should worry about pleasing everybody. But sometimes our brain is silly and thinks that we should please everyone. So it doesn't have to be a real issue or something that you worry about, but that awareness might be coming up for you this year. I hope that makes sense. So finally, we are going to see a message from future you. So this is you who has reached the end of 2025 and wants to give you a message as you head into 2025. What message does future you have for you? Majesty. This cat is called Majesty, which I feel like is a total confirmation of you reaching this higher status. Okay, meet Majesty. She lives inside each one of us. She is the queen of the vulnerable heart, the yearning soul, and the seeking mind. She helps us see our majesty, helps us to honor our gifts, hone our skills, and be true to our word. Let us not diminish ourselves with endless self-criticism and self-negation. We must wear our crown of light and love with confidence, grace, and a generosity of spirit. We all have something to teach and share with our fellows. Cultivate kindness and respect towards yourself so that your gifts may flourish and be shared freely with those around you. I love that message for you. I don't know if I want to add my own interpretation, but I do want to say that as I was reading this message, I heard kill them with kindness. And because if you respond to negativity or criticism with kindness, that's something that you do for yourself because you have self-respect and you hold yourself to that higher standard. It's kind of something that you do for you. And there will be some people who, if they come to you with a crabby energy and you respond with kindness, you will see them soften up. And that's a really beautiful thing. And you'll feel good about that. And you won't regret being kind. And then there's also the pattern where if someone comes to you with a crabby energy and you respond with kindness, and then that makes them even more upset. But even then, you realize okay, then it's definitely a them problem. Because if me being kind to them is making them upset, clearly that means that they were expecting a different reaction and they were trying to trigger me and they didn't get what they wanted. And then once again, the way it's coming through is you win. You know, if you respond with kindness, you will always win. If you don't let people tempt you into lowering your own code of standards of how you'll behave. Save the pettiness for when you're talking to your bestie later. You know, like, just always show up with that kindness and you can never lose. And it also really shows you where the other person is coming from. Because if your kindness softens them, you know that deep down they have a good heart and maybe they were just having a bad day. Maybe they were just stressed out. Maybe they were just had a little moment of insecurity or something and now it's all good. But if you respond with kindness and they get even more mad, then you see their true intention, that they never wanted to be in a good place with you. They were just trying to trigger you. They were just trying to get a reaction out of you and you didn't give it to them. So yeah, I also find that if you assume positive intention out of everybody, it makes it so that like they have to explain themselves if their intention is bad, and then it makes them look like the asshole that they are. So it's really like there's something about you got to navigate these social situations with grace. That's like a big theme in 2025, because it's like, be kind and show people that you expect them to be a good person, but also keep your guard up and also keep your shit private. Handle it with grace. You are grace, you are majesty. Yeah. That's cool. Like, let me know what you guys are working on, because you are leveling up. Absolutely. You are winning. This is victory. Okay. Group number 3. Group number 3. These are all of your messages. So we are going to go into the extended now, where we're going to see the most significant connections in your life in 2025 and who these people are and why they're going to be so important. And then we're also going to see, will it happen in 2025? So again, it is any event that you want to know about. We will see a yes, no, or maybe answer, and when it will happen, whether that's in 2025 or a bit later, we will get that specific timing prediction. So if that sounds good to you and you would like to join me in the extended, I'm going to have that link down below in the description as well as in the pinned comment of this video. However, if you're going to leave the reading here, I want to say thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch. We have now over 100 exclusive pick a card readings just like these ones on my channel. They are timeless, and you can also decide on topics for future readings over there. So I will have that link down below. My music channel, which includes the intro song of this video that is an original song. I'll also have my latest release link down below. And finally, my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you. Anyone who appeared in this reading, directly or indirectly, to your higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye! Hi, number 4s. So if you chose the bell-shaped green ornament, this is going to be your reading. I just want to say thank you so much for being here, and thank you for choosing this as one of your 2025 readings out of the many readings that I'm sure are being posted right now. It means a lot that you clicked on this video and that we have this time together. Another thing I want to mention, Yumi is in the room with us right now. So that's your first energy check. If you like Yumi, if you like her little noises, then this is your group. If you don't, then this is not your group. I also wanted to mention something that came through before I started filming. And I don't know if this is something you need to know for the year of 2025, or maybe it's something you need to know for a current situation that you're going through. But the message was, don't be humble. Like, I know that kind of sounds weird, but you're in a situation where being humble will actually not work to your advantage. And the example that I was being shown was, somebody wants to give you an opportunity, but if you're too humble and you downplay your abilities or your skills, then they're not going to give you the opportunity. They're going to be like, oh, well, if you say you're not that good at it, then I'll find someone else. You know? So you're in a situation where being confident about what you're good at is actually going to work in your favor. To be like, yeah, I am really, really good at that. Then people will say, oh, great, then I have this opportunity for you. So don't downplay it. Own what you're good at. Yeah, that's a message for my group number 4s. So the reading that we're going to be doing today is going to focus on the major events and the major shifts that are coming your way in 2025. We're going to be looking at both your inner world and your outer world and seeing what these shifts will lead to for you. We are going to see your biggest blessing and how to make the most of it, as well as your biggest challenge and how to overcome it. And finally, we are going to see a message from future you. So this is going to be you at the end of 2025 and what message they would give to you right now who is about to go into 2025. And then we also have an extended today. In the extended, we're going to see the most significant people or the most significant connections that will be in your life in 2025. So these could be new people coming in or existing connections in your life, but we're going to see who these people are and why they are going to be so important in 2025, like what's going to be happening between the two of you. And then we're also going to see, will it happen in 2025? So it is any event that you want to know about, anything you're wondering, is it going to happen in 2025 or not? And we're going to pull the cards to see yes, no, or maybe, and the reason why. And we will also see when it's going to happen. So whether that's within 2025 or a bit later, we will get the specific timing prediction for that. So that's going to be our reading today. And let's get into it. We're starting with the tarot. And I am going to be taking reversals today. Okay, major events and major shifts for my group number 4s in 2025. We have the 3 of Wands in reverse. We have the Knight of Swords in reverse, the King of Cups in reverse, and the 2 of Pentacles in the upright. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have the Queen of Wands in the upright. Okay, empowerment is a theme for 2025. For our clarifying cards, we have the Cage in reverse with isolation. We have the Past in reverse with let go. And we have the Fox in the upright with clever. Okay, yeah, there's definitely a feeling of empowerment, of you're making an important decision by yourself. And it feels empowering because you're not letting external influences or external pressures affect your decision, whether that's pressures from family, from your peers, from society. This is a decision that you know is coming completely from you, and it's coming completely from the heart. What it feels like to me is you are putting a halt on something, you are canceling something, or you are postponing something because it feels too hasty. And you feel it's either you know this is what you want to do, but you just know that you're not ready. And so you're going to give yourself a bit more time. Or it could also be like, I'm not sure if this is for me, and I don't want to feel rushed into making this decision. So it's like you are taking your power back over this narrative, and you're not going to give into the pressures that are telling you to hurry up. Whether that's like society's pressure of you should already be at a certain point by this age, or family or people around you saying like, just hurry up and get this over with, or just hurry up and do this, or something like that. You're saying, no, this kind of feels like an act of defiance. Sounds like you're being disobedient. I mean, that could be the case for some of you. Maybe you're like, no, I'm not going to follow your orders. I think this is moving too fast. But yeah, in some way it feels like an act of rebellion in a society or in a community or in a world that wants to just like hurry you along. Interesting. It's like you're hitting the brakes on something. Maybe you feel you need more information. Maybe you just want more time to experience life with no pressures. You want more time for self-exploration. You want to build up more confidence so that when you do say yes to this, you're 100% sure about it and you know that you're going to do a good job. I just heard like, I just know that I wouldn't be able to show up as my best self. And it's really important to you that you are able to show up as your best self, and you know that you're doing things for the right reasons. I am being shown an example, and I think for most of you, it may not be exactly this, and this is more so to illustrate the energy, but it would be like if you were engaged to be married to someone and you either postponed the wedding or you called it off because you just feel like it's too soon, or you feel that you weren't getting married for the right reasons. Like you were only getting married to make your parents happy because they were, on your back about, when are you going to get married? When are you going to give me grandchildren? Or maybe you realize that you are only getting married because you felt, oh my gosh, like all my friends are getting married and I'm almost at this age and I feel like I need to start getting a move on with my life. It's like upon further reflection, it just wasn't for the right reasons. And in this example, for some of you, it might be that I know I want to marry this person. I just don't want to do it under these circumstances. I want to do it at a time where it feels right and where I feel like, I feel proud about my reasons for doing it. And then, others of you, it might be like, I'm actually not sure that this is the person I want to marry. And I feel like I just got rushed into this by external factors. And maybe I don't even want to get married at all. I feel like I want more time to just discover myself and travel the world. And, that's just one example, right? But it's like, it feels like there has been some external pressure to like rush you into making a decision, signing a contract, committing to something. And you're saying no, like, no, I don't want to do that. And you're taking your power back. And the cage in reverse, I feel like that's so telling. You are freeing yourself from this cage. And maybe even redefining what the cage is. I'm also getting an example of someone who called off a move. Yes, this is the other thing, is that some of you might realize that you are prioritizing growth for the sake of growth without checking in with yourself to see if it's really what you wanted to do. So for example, saying yes to more and more promotions, taking on higher and higher positions in a job to make more and more money because you're thinking like, yeah, this is growth, this is success. But if you really check in with your innermost guidance, maybe it doesn't even feel right. It's like we're saying no to growth for the sake of growth. We're saying no to progress for the sake of progress. And we are reclaiming the timeline of our life and not letting anyone else rush us forward. So, yeah, about this cage. The other example was like someone calling off a move. Maybe they were going to move to another city or move to another country because they were thinking, yeah, like expand my horizons, climbing up the ladder. I'm moving up in life, so I'm going to do this big move. And then they realized that that was not really for the right reasons. And at first, maybe they perceived the move as being freed from the cage. But the truth is, if they went through with the move, that was actually what was caging them. The being chained to the idea of perpetual growth and more growth and do more, achieve more, do this faster, that was the real cage. There's a change in your perspective where what I once thought was freedom, that's not really freedom, because I'm still chained to what other people think of me. I'm still chained to achieving things by a certain deadline in my life. The real freedom is not a specific path at all. The real freedom is doing what's in my heart. So you're having this perspective shift that causes you to hit the brakes on something. And this could be with the past in reverse. This could be like a pattern that you're breaking. I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to give in to the pressures of like whatever it might be, my own inner critic, my family, my friends, society, comparing myself to others. I'm not going to give in to that pressure anymore. I see how I've done that in the past, but I'm going to make a new story for my life now. And I love that we have the fox here with clever, because I feel like this is really spirit confirming that you're doing the right thing, and that actually it takes a lot of wisdom to realize that whatever success or freedom I would have gained from staying on this path would be an illusion. You know, for example, people think that the hustle for money will give them freedom. But if you are a slave to money, you're not really free. It's like that kind of thing. Breaking free from that illusion and realizing I was not on my way to freedom, success, happiness, abundance, because all of those things really come from me living in my heart and honoring my heart. That is how I free myself from this cage. Not from moving away, not from moving up the corporate ladder, none of that. And Spirit's kind of like, aha, you cracked it. You cracked the code, I guess. I don't know why that just came through, but like you saw through the illusion, you saw the truth. And this might cause some temporary complications or confusion in your life, but with this Two of Pentacles in the upright, I feel like you're willing to accept it. Or it could even be a temporary financial obstacle. For example, maybe you decide, you change your mind and you don't want to go into this study program, and maybe you already like paid a certain amount that you won't get back, and you're like, I don't care, because what would be even scarier is if I wasted 4 years of my life doing this thing that I already know is not in alignment. Or maybe it's going to be a temporary hassle because I already like moved my stuff and now I'm moving back, or now I have to figure out what I'm going to do instead. But any temporary challenges like that, I feel like you're enthusiastically moving towards them because it just feels so good. It's like, I'd rather have my life be messy, but it's mine, than have it be all neat, but I'm living a lie. I'm not going to choose speed and convenience and simplicity. I want the real raw messiness of life, and I want it to be mine. And I feel emotional when I'm saying that. So you're making a very brave and a very smart decision for yourself. And that's like the main theme or the main shift of this year. So let's see what your blessings and challenges are. So for your blessing, we have the number 4. You're finding your home. You're finding the place where you really belong, where you really feel at home. So there's a blessing in your living situation, or in your sense of belonging, or in your sense of inner peace. We have the North Node. There's a home that is calling to you, and you're answering the call. So it could even be the place you are right now. It could even be from inside yourself. It could be a part of the world that you've always felt spiritually drawn to. And you're like, nope, I'm going to go there. I'm going to follow my heart and just go to this part of the world. And that might be a bit messy at first, but I'm going to make it work. You're committing to your home, the home that is calling to you. Scorpio. Okay, so it's a home that you've had a past life in. Ooh. Yeah, this feels like a part of the world that you feel a deep spiritual connection to, that you've had past lives there, and that is calling to you in this lifetime. And it feels familiar, maybe in a way you cannot explain, at least within the context of this incarnation. If you take into account other incarnations, then maybe you can explain. But just looking at this one lifetime, it might be like, why do I feel so drawn to that place? I've never been there, or like my family isn't from there. You know, I don't know anybody there. But that's because it's spiritual. So if you don't know what place this is referring to, it could very well be that the blessing coming to you this year is that you find the part of the world, or you find your home on this earth that really, really calls to your soul, that maybe you wouldn't have found if you had just kept going on your current path. So for those of you who know where this home is, I would say the blessing is that you get to be there. You get to settle your roots there. You get to live there. And then if you don't know where it is yet, then I think your blessing is finding that place that really feels like home. Okay, yeah, we'll use these ones. It doesn't really matter. It's just that I used a different set for the other groups, but they're literally the same thing. Okay. What is a challenge for you this year? We have the number 1. We have Uranus, and we have Aries. Okay. This is going to be a challenge for you, is that when you start being true to yourself and you start really being who you are, you will probably get these comments of like, you've changed, which could be frustrating. You need to remember that you don't owe anybody to stay as your old self, or to stay in a version of you that no longer feels authentic or that never was authentic. People may be uncomfortable because the old version of you was more convenient for them, or it served them better. And first of all, like, people changing is a thing. Nobody's gonna stay the same way forever. I'm thinking about, people say this about musicians, like singers and stuff. Like, you changed. I miss the old Taylor Swift or something. It's like, okay, then listen to old Taylor Swift. But I don't know why I used her as an example. Maybe Taylor Swift is significant to someone. But, you know, this happens for every artist, I feel. Okay, if you miss their old music, listen to it. It still exists. But you cannot stop this human being from evolving and exploring themselves creatively just because you prefer a certain version of them. And it's kind of crazy if you would expect them to do that. And change is a good thing. Nobody's gonna stay the same way forever. And I bet, like, those same people who are complaining, they've probably changed a lot too. Like, I miss Taylor Swift's music from 2015. Well, have you not also changed since 2015? Like, it's kind of an unrealistic expectation that someone should stay the same all the time. So I think just remember that if you ever start to feel like guilty or bad about it, remember that change is very normal, and people who love you celebrate your change and celebrate your different versions, especially if they see that with each evolution, you're becoming happier and happier. And with each evolution, you're getting closer to your true essence. Yeah. Like, yes, I changed, and it's a good thing because I'm happier now and I'm more authentic. And yeah, just be aware of that, and I guess don't fall into the trap of like feeling bad for evolving. Is there anything else? Anything else, Yumi? She snorted. Okay. Yeah, it's like some people might have it backwards where they think that the old you was the real you and that you've become some like different you now. And it's like, no, the old me was fake and now I'm the real me. And I'm not going back. I'm not saying you were fake, but maybe like inauthentic to what your soul truly desired. Not like you're a fake person. I hope, yeah, I didn't mean for it to come across that way. So now we are going to get a message from future you, who is at the end of 2025. And they have a message for you right now as you step into the new year. What message does future you have for you? Oh, this is taking a while. Okay. Oh, I love that this cat has, I don't know, would you call this a wreath surrounding them? Because this really looks like home to me. It looks like being in a place where you feel safe, where you feel protected, where you feel belonging. Patience. Oh my gosh, her name is Snug Puff. That's so cute. Meet Snug Puff. She transmutes our restless, oh my gosh. This is like Perfect for you. She transmutes our restless urgency and "are we there yet" complaints into an appreciation of what is right now. Let go of everything that will come after this moment and have faith that you are exactly where you need to be. Draw a circle around the present moment and relax into it with Snug Puff curled up on your lap. Sometimes we believe we need to be at our destination right now, but there is so much to be learned and discovered right here where we are. Let's be patient with ourselves, our loved ones, and the world around us. There is time. Oh my gosh, that's so perfect for you. It's like, I really feel that you're radically, I want to say, choosing a slower life, and no longer are you going to make decisions from that sense of urgency of "are we there yet? We need to be at the destination." I also think it's so sweet that this card talks about Snug Puff curled up on your lap, and this is the only group that has Yumi. She wanted to come downstairs, and so she's currently curled up. She sits like behind me on the chair, so I'm just sitting right on the edge. But yeah, maybe there's even like this Queen of Wands has a companion animal. Maybe there's that. Oh, that could also be a blessing coming to you this year, is like a companion animal, a union or a reunion with an animal friend, with an animal soulmate, or you could have a companion animal on the other side whose presence is very strong throughout this year, or an animal spirit who wants to help you. Let me get the spirit animal book. Ooh, we have boar on page 57. Blue jay could also be significant, but my eye went to boar first, so I'm going to read this one. Stop your procrastinating and move forward on that project that you started and have yet to finish. It's time to meet whatever situation or person in your life that's causing you distress head on and achieve some sort of closure. You're at the beginning of a period of wealth, prosperity, and personal growth. Face your fears and do whatever is necessary to resolve them so that you can find peace. Whatever controversy you're involved in will soon be settled in a fair and just manner. Yeah, the boar is a sign of wealth, prosperity, also being like headstrong and determined. There was a message about like going ahead with that thing that you've wanted to do. I wonder if there's a feeling of, I don't know if procrastinating is the right word, but putting on the back burner your own desires or your own plans for your life so that you can live according to someone else's schedule, which could be your own ego or your own inner critic or like someone else who is pressuring you. And then there was also something about facing whoever is distressing you. And where did it go? Yeah, like whatever is causing you distress, to meet it head on and achieve closure. So I feel like situations that feel out of alignment and that stress you out, one thing that's shifting within you in 2025 is that you no longer let those situations drag along, which maybe you had done in the past. Like you knew deep down that like, I don't like the direction we're heading in, or this is too fast, I don't like this. And then, but you just kind of stay quiet and let it simmer, if that's the right word, let it fester. And I think we're not doing that anymore. Whenever something doesn't feel right, you're gaining the confidence to be able to face that head on. There may be also a challenge of facing that part of you, that the inner hustler, I want to say, who maybe tries to accuse you of being lazy or accuse you of procrastinating when you are taking your time to rest or taking your time to reflect. Because I feel like the pressures, any external pressures that you might feel to live your life in a certain way, if they've been around for a long time, they have likely been internalized as well. So I think what the boar wants to say is that there may be this period where even if you have, like, let's say there's certain people who make you feel pressured to live your life in a certain way. Even after you create distance with those people and they're out of your life, now you will have this period where you have to deal with those very same sentiments that you have internalized. So, I don't know, let's say there's someone in your life who's always making you feel like you're lazy, you need to do more. And you cut this person out of your life. Now we deal with the inner nagger who says you're lazy. Like, so there's the external clearing away, and then there's the internal purging. And yeah, I think that might be another challenge of this year. And just, but you know what? I don't think you're going to worry if you made the right decision or not, because it's so clear when you make this decision that you feel in alignment and you feel more free. I don't really see you regretting or questioning if you made the right choice, because at the end of the day, you know what's best for yourself. But even if we know our own inner critic is being unnecessarily rude and is being unreasonable, that doesn't make their words hurt any less, So it just takes time to decondition yourself. Yes. So I think those are all of the messages. I love this image so much. Those are all the messages for my group number 4s. We are going to head into the extended now, where we see the most significant connections that will be in your life in 2025. I'm very excited about that because there's a message of you finding your home and, getting to set your roots where your soul really feels at home. So it'll be very interesting to see what connections arise as a result of that, and as a result of you being who you truly are. So who these people are and why they're going to be so important this year. We are also going to see, will it happen in 2025? So again, it is any event that you're curious about. We'll see whether or not it will happen. And we're going to see when it's going to happen, whether that's in 2025 or a bit later. So if that sounds good to you and you'd like to join me in the extended, that's going to be linked down below in the description, as well as in the pinned comment of this video. However, if you're going to leave the reading here, I want to say thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch tons of exclusive pick a card readings. We have over 100 readings over there now. They are timeless, so you can watch them at any time. And you can also decide on topics for future readings. So I will have that linked down below. My music channel, which includes the intro song of this video, that is an original song. I will also have my latest release linked down below. And finally, my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, your higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.